Okay, hello and welcome. If you're just joining us for the Accelerator info call, we are going to get started in about 3 minutes. So please go ahead and you can just chat in your name and where you're joining us from. And that will help confirm that you can hear us and also help us get to know one another. Hi, Samuel from Kenya. Hello, Amy, sitting right next to me. Would love to know where others are joining from in the chat box, and we'll get started in about 2 more minutes. Awesome. It's great to see we have people joining us from all over the world. We really appreciate you being here. I know it's later in the evening for some of you. So if you're just joining us, please chat in to say who you are and where you're joining us from, and we'll start in just another minute from now. Okay, great. Thank you again, everyone out there, for joining us today for the informational call on the Earned Income Accelerator. My name is Jeannie Balkovich, and I'm the Accelerator Programs Manager here at Plus Acumen. And I'm joined with my lovely colleague, Amy Ahern, the Associate Director on our team at Plus Acumen, who helped develop and launch the Accelerator program last year, and she'll be pitching in to tell us more towards the end of this call and also help answer questions. But just broadly, if you're newer to Plus Acumen or our courses, we are an online learning platform that is affiliated with the organization Acumen, and you can find our free courses online at our site listed here, plusacumen.org, on social entrepreneurship and leadership, if you've not already checked those out, which I know some of you have. And we're here today to talk about our nonprofit Earned Income Accelerator program. So we'll give you an overview of what the program is, what the curriculum looks like, and a few stories from our past participants, as well as give you a chance to ask some questions via the chat towards the end of our call today. and are happy to take more individualized follow-up questions afterwards too. So what is the Accelerator? Broadly, this is an 8-week program developed to help nonprofit organizations around the world develop a new revenue source for their organization. So participants in this program work through hands-on exercises to develop an idea, size their market, and figure out how many customers there are out there in the world that are interested in their idea. Think about the financial viability and whether this could be profitable for you in the short and long term, and test out your idea with real customers while getting feedback from one another participating in the program, as well as coaches on our team here at Acumen. And we've developed this curriculum leaning on some of the lessons learned by Acumen over the course of the organization's history, and have also brought in expert interviews and case studies from other nonprofit organizations who have really developed social enterprise within their nonprofit to bring in some earned income. So that's a brief overview of what the program is. Here is where you can find a little bit more information in the form of some frequently asked questions and responses to those, as well as the actual application for the program at that link there. And I'll show you it again at the end if you've not already applied. And we're looking for a few things when we think about who is the best fit for this program. So first of all, we are looking for people who are coming from established nonprofit organizations. So as a broad rule, we're looking for organizations that have at least 3 years of operating history and about 5 or more staff members. We see participants come from very large organizations and smaller organizations, and we evaluate each organization's application on a case-by-case basis. But this is the general rule, and we're specifically, this program is not designed for new startup ventures that don't have any source of funding yet. It's really, to the second point here, for organizations who have funding already and want to incubate a new earned income stream that could help you achieve your social impact or help support other activities that you're already doing. So that is one thing we look for when we're evaluating applications. So if you're just starting an idea, this might not be the best program for you right now. We want to call that out on the front end. Third, we're looking for participants who are really eager to join a community of peers from other nonprofit organizations and willing to give and receive feedback to one another to help push each other's learning in the program. And finally, we want people who have an entrepreneurial mindset and are willing and open to using an entrepreneurial approach to their idea, but maybe folks who haven't had as much prior business training or an MBA or something already coming into this program, because it's a really foundational skill set that we're teaching as you apply it to your idea. We often get asked the question of what do actual business models look like for participants. And here are just a few examples of what past participants have worked to build out within their nonprofit organization. So you might identify a new paying customer segment for your existing products or services, maybe that are offered for free, currently funded by grants or elsewhere. We're trying to think about how you might develop a customer base for some of your work. Second, you could think about how to package your organization's expertise as a training that might be offered more broadly outside of the constituents you serve right now. And others have worked to prototype a fee-for-service model to sell some of their expertise that they've built out organizationally to other organizations who are interested in learning from what you do already. So those are just a few examples. We anticipate many more and are eager to learn about some of the ideas you all are bringing to the table and how this might push one another's thinking about how to get creative or how to bring in some earned revenue to support your social mission. This is just a really high-level sampling of a few of the organizations who participated in the Accelerator to date. We have worked with organizations, big and small, all over the world and from really different contexts and with different ideas. And I think that's what makes the program so rich, is that people are able to really bring different perspectives to the table and to the conversation and help you push to build out your idea in a way you might not have thought of previously. And at the same time, though perspectives are really diverse, we often see that organizations in different parts of the world struggle with some of the same challenges as they work to bring their earned income idea to the world. And so we see both differences and similarities as people approach their ideas, which makes it really exciting and a great group to be a part of. Here is concretely what the curriculum will look like over the course of the 8-week program. So in week 1, which for this cohort will be the week of May 6th, we will launch with our orientation call, and this is a great opportunity for our cohorts to start getting to know one another and learning about the both core work of the nonprofits participating as well as the earned income ideas that they're bringing to the table. Our second week is focused on the social enterprise mindset. So what does it actually mean? What is a social enterprise? And what does that mean as you think about applying the mindset to your current nonprofit and your idea? Week 3, we start to really dig in and help you with customer discovery for your idea. So you'll actually talk to potential customers that would be interested in paying for your product or service that you're working to develop, and develop a set of insights from them that you'll use to design your value proposition. So what types of customer problems are you hearing out in the world, and how does your product or service directly address those to bring value to your customers? Week 4, you'll map out your organizational core. So what are some of the assets and capabilities that you already have as an established nonprofit organization that you can build upon as you launch your new product or service line? So that's going to be really important to make sure that this idea is feasible for you to execute on. And then you'll take insights from that type of feasibility analysis as well as your customer insights from the previous week and build out your business model canvas. So what will your business model look like? And we often see in week 4 that's already changed a little bit from what you thought it might look like coming in week 1 in orientation as you're applying the insights from your customer to your business model. Week 5, you'll start to develop some of the financials for your idea. So first, you'll size your market. Again, thinking about how many customers there are that you could serve. And second, you'll build out a financial model. So with this, you'll get some support from our team, and we have some templates we'll help you use to map out both the costs that it will take to execute on your idea, as well as some of the revenue that you project you bring in over the course of the next few years, and see how profitable your idea might be in reality. Of course, the idea is to bring in revenue for your organization, and we want to make sure it's viable. So we'll focus on that in week 5. In week 6, you'll start to take a piece of your idea and bring it to life in the form of a MVP or a minimum viable product, which you'll then take back out to customers and get feedback on. So you're testing to see, again, if your product or service is desirable to the people you hope to serve, and also whether potentially they're willing to pay for it to help support that viability component as well. Week 7, you'll think about funding, how to develop champions and stakeholders that will help you bring your idea forward, both internal to your organization and external to help you launch your idea. And you'll put together a pitch deck, which you'll use in week 8 in our final showcase to present really your idea, where it landed, or lessons you've learned to each other in your cohort, as well as to a panel of outside experts that we invite to that final week to give you some more outside perspective to your idea. This curriculum that I just walked through is based on this framework outlined by the design firm IDEO, which posits that innovation happens at the intersection of desirability, feasibility, and viability. So over the course of the 8 weeks and the exercises and assignments that you do, those will help you test whether your idea is desirable to the customers you hope to serve, feasible for your organization to pull off, and viable from a business perspective. And that's why you saw we tagged some of the different weeks focus areas to these specific components, because we'll come back to that throughout the course of the curriculum. You will get access to real case studies that come from nonprofits who've launched their own earned income streams in the past. And we deliberately feature nonprofits who both succeeded and failed in launching and scaling their earned income ventures, because we find that the lessons learned from both types of case studies are really helpful and applicable to our current program participants in thinking about what pitfalls they might avoid, or things that they can think of in advance of launching their venture and having some of the same struggles that we've seen others have. And so on the right side here, you can see a list of organizations that are profiled in our case studies. And these come from different sectors and different geographies as well, to make sure we're really thinking broadly about lessons you can apply to your work. There's a set of instructional videos and interviews from experts that you can access and work through at your own pace. This again helps broaden the perspective that you can learn from and apply to your idea. And you'll also access workbooks, tools, and a dashboard each week to track the progress of your idea. And all these tools are baked into the online learning platform that you'll access each week and help you, again, test your idea through a course, throughout the course of the Accelerator. Then each week, once you've processed the weekly lesson, you've done your assignment and applied those lessons to your idea, you'll show up for a live 2-hour-long weekly learning lab. And this is, I think, one of the most fun parts of the Accelerator, because each week we get to talk to the whole group and you get to talk to one another. So other nonprofits who are also working to launch their own idea, and you'll debrief the case studies and also look at progress across the board in each organization and give and receive feedback to one another to really push each other's ideas in ways you might not think of on your own. And so these are just a few screenshots to try to capture the energy in those live learning labs. This is from one of our cohorts last year. And this one is from our current cohort from our orientation call. I think in January this one was. And it's really great because we get to include people from all around the world. Even just like on this call, I see you all chatting in from all over the world. It's a great way to learn from different, again, perspectives and contexts globally. Beyond those live learning labs, you'll also get written feedback on your assignments each week. So you'll post your assignment to NovoEd, our online learning platform, and then you'll get comments from your peers as well as from our coaches each week to really identify places where there might be holes in your thinking that you might not have thought of yet, or places you might further test in the coming weeks. And you'll get to follow your peers' work throughout the course of the accelerator. So this is a good way to, as you're giving feedback to one another, to get a sense of other business models that other nonprofits are working to build out, and again, trace how those might change throughout the course of the accelerator. At the end of the 8-week program, if you complete all of the assignments and complete the program, we do issue certificates of completion, like the one you see here, as well as ongoing access to the curriculum portal and your community of peers, which we find is a really rich network of people, like-minded innovators looking to build out interesting things, and a community that others have really benefited from in the past. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Amy, who helped develop and launch this accelerator last year and can tell you a little bit more about what has happened to past participants.
Thanks, Jeannie. So many people ask us what has happened to people that have gone through this accelerator program. So we just wanted to share one brief case study as an illustration. We do see that some organizations come into this program and end up invalidating some of the ideas that they started with, but their learning is faster and they walk away with a lot of meaningful lessons for how they can update their idea moving forward, which we think is a worthwhile outcome. We have also seen that some organizations end up attracting more philanthropic or grant funding because funders are attracted to organizations that have diverse revenue streams and are thinking about their work in a sustainable way. And then finally, and perhaps most excitingly, we see that some organizations actually sell some offerings during the accelerator program itself or quickly thereafter. So Carlotta was one of those individuals. She came from the Hunger Project in New York and participated in our first accelerator program. During the 8-week-long experience, she developed a 3-tier fee-for-service model to sell training and consultations on the Hunger Project's innovative methodology to other governments, multilateral institutions, and nonprofits. She actually ended up selling some of these first engagements during the accelerator, and now in 2019 is continuing to work on updating the offering. And so what you see on the right side of the screen is actually the minimum viable product that she mocked up during the accelerator program. And that was a website that she then used to communicate her offering to potential customers. And on the next slide here, what you'll see is another screenshot from her website. And so this shows clearly how she made her idea concrete and visible and compelling to start to communicate it to potential customers and convert it into eventual sales. So Carlotta is just one example of a participant who has gone through this program. We have had many others from across sectors and organizations around the world begin to either test or sell things as a result of what they began to learn and develop in this accelerator program.
Thank you, Amy. And one note that we do like to mention on the front end to participants in this accelerator is that while people like Carlotta and others have come out and been able to sell their project pretty immediately, we don't guarantee that everyone walks out of the program with a fully profitable functional business model at the end of 8 quick weeks. But what we do say that everyone can gain is access to a set of tools to be able to test your business idea quickly, and so that you can continue to apply to your current idea or others after the close of the program. One way, of course, that we see ideas move forward successfully is with help from your teammates. And so we encourage teams to participate in the program together. We can allow access for up to 10 people from your organization to the curriculum, and you can leverage help of your team to complete assignments. But we do ask for only one lead participant from each organization who is responsible for both submitting your weekly assignment as well as showing up to the live learning lab each week. And we find that that helps lead participants really get to know one another and see a consistent face to help learn about your idea each week. But again, it's good to engage others outside of that learning lab time. And one question we hear from people is wondering about the time commitment and expectation for this program. And so I thought I would just note it here. We estimate generally that teams spend approximately 6 hours per week on the program, and that's inclusive of that 2-hour learning lab. So you'll be live for 2 hours with the group, and then should commit to at least 4 hours outside of that time to work through the lessons and your assignments each week. But that 4-hour time is something that you split up and leverage others in your organization to support with. And so that's a good way to engage your teammates in the accelerator as well. Finally, here is an overview of the timeline we're looking at for the May cohort. So we're going to close applications March 28th in just a few weeks from now. So apply by that time at the link you see here. We'll interview through the start of April, and the accelerator itself will run from the week of May 6th through the end of June. And the final showcase will be sometime that last week of June, the week of June 24th. We've had our learning labs on Tuesdays in the past, but that might change depending on the participants we have. And we want to make sure that we can schedule that around people's availability to the best of our ability. But this is the general timeline and frame we should be thinking about.
And I will just say that we have limited slots for this current round of the Accelerator program, so we do accept applications on a rolling basis and would encourage you to submit before March 28th, and we will do interviews and acceptances on a rolling basis. So don't delay, we do have limited slots that are done, so we're looking to find the right organizations quickly.
And with that, we are happy to stay on the line and answer a few questions that we see common in the chat now. But if you have other specific questions to your work or organization, you can email us at this accelerator@plusacumen.org email address, or check out our website also here. And I don't think I said this earlier, but this session is recorded and will be sent to everyone who's registered. So that's another good way to forward along information to your colleagues if they're interested in learning more. So with that, yes. So I see some questions about the cost of the course and about financial aid.
Yes, so that's a great question. The cost of this facilitated and coached program, where you receive intensive feedback each week, is $2,500 per organization. And again, that enables up to 10 people from each nonprofit to access the curriculum. We do offer scholarships because we want to make this program accessible for everyone. So on your application, you can indicate that you need up to a 50% discount. So please feel free to get in touch with us if you are coming from a smaller organization or in an emerging market. We are also happy to consider discounts that would make it affordable in your region. So please apply, and then we will discuss financial aid as needed for those organizations who are selected to participate.
Okay. It seems like a few of you are having trouble hearing us. So we just went through the cost of the program that's also listed on the application website. I heard a question earlier about just the background of the facilitators and kind of where they're coming in from.
Yes, so the program leverages expertise from a variety of experts. We have interviews that have been conducted with people from consulting organizations that specialize in nonprofit business models like Bridgestrand. We also leverage the social impact consulting work from Bain and Company, along with impact investing perspectives from Acumen, and other authors and thought leaders that have written books on nonprofit business models and lean startup. Those are all packaged into interviews that you can access on your own time and at your own pace. And then some of those individuals show up as experts for the final showcase to offer you feedback directly. On a weekly basis, the majority of feedback and learning will be coming from your nonprofit peers who are best positioned to give you input and outside perspectives on your business models. So we do encourage a vibrant conversation among nonprofit innovators who are taking part in this program. And then we have facilitators who are coming from Plus Acumen and have experience developing nonprofit business models and other social enterprise training programs. So those are coaches who are available both to facilitate the learning between peers and provide you with individualized coaching every week.
Great, and I saw a question earlier about potential help connecting with customers. That's a really good question. We will guide your thinking about who your potential customers might be, but we do put that back on participants to do the outreach to connect with your customer base on your own. And we're happy to pitch in where possible with our network. For instance, we worked with someone working with school principals, school leaders in our current cohort who had a little bit of trouble connecting with those people. And so we were able to support him in small ways by thinking about people in the broader Acumen network he might leverage for help. But primarily, we put that back on participants themselves to do the outreach to their customers on their own. And
just to clarify the pricing one more time, so the list price is $2,500 per organization, and that enables access for up to 10 participants from each organization to participate in this program. However, we do prioritize making it accessible for organizations from around the world and from many different sizes. So there are scholarships available up to 50%. So please indicate that you need a scholarship when you apply. And if you are selected, we are happy to discuss financial aid options in order to make this an accessible program to the organizations who are a strong fit.
Great. And how many groups will be accepted into the accelerator? We are looking to bring in about 24 groups for our next accelerator. So it is a competitive process. We'll look at applications and conduct interviews as our next step. And we want to keep it small so that you can really support each other's learning and make it a really intimate learning experience. Yep, and then a good point, we are running this again later in the year in September. It's a program we run a few times each year. And so if it is not a good fit or the best time for your organization at this point, there will be other opportunities to participate in the future. Okay, I see the question here about how many paying members have gone through so far. We've seen about 75 organizations come through so far in the few times we've run this program in the past year or so. And so I'm seeing still more questions about price come through. I know the audio broke up a little bit earlier. What I'd say is that we'd encourage you to apply, indicate whether you'd like support. And again, we can consider on a one-off basis how to support people. We do want to keep the program really accessible for participating organizations in different geographies and with different budgets. And so that's something we can think through individually. But the price is listed, and the general scholarship we're able to offer is 50%. And we are happy to talk more about that depending on the need that you're seeing. Okay, and with that, we're gonna go ahead and close out this session, but if you do have more follow-up questions, please feel free to email us at this email address here, and we wanna work with you and make sure that on both ends, it is a fit, of course, before we proceed with the accelerator with anyone. So just let us know if you have questions about whether this is a fit for your organization, and we're happy to connect. So thank you all so much for joining us, and we look forward to getting to know some of you much better in the next few weeks and months. And I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.